WHGE 95.3 FM. Coming up, the Open Eye.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego diddling. We do so because the chains of oppression on our people's minds are deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM, the Advocacy Education Station. I'm your host and third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, here to get them started, get that eye open, yes indeed. Every generation has its purpose. Ours is to reveal the truth and reverse the brainwashing. All right, and that's what we're going to do right here on WHGE 95.3 FM. Let me get my disclaimer out the way. Where is it? All right. Okay.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM, nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Yeah, but look, one of the things that I often talk about is propaganda, the importance of controlling the information that reaches our community. Okay? The importance of not allowing the powers that be to withhold information, block information. You know, what's going on right now in Palestine, that's one of the things that the powers that be, Israel, the United States, the Western world, they want to tamp down on the information, okay? Let me tell you something. Indoctrination is not always what we think it is, you know, what a lot of people think it is. A lot of people think when you say indoctrination, you think of communist Russia or North Korea and what have you, okay? But indoctrination is a slow process. It's basically, how can I say this? It's like mass hypnotism on a very, very subtle basis, okay? Malcolm broke it down to us. He said, you got to be careful of what you listen to, the news that you allow into your mind. You know, I'm not quoting him exactly. But what he said was, you listen to the media, it'll have you hating the people being oppressed. and loving the people doing the oppression. And that's what goes on with us. Okay? All right, moving right along. Everyone will go through some hard times at some point. Life isn't easy. Just something to think about. Do you know the people that are the strongest are usually the most sensitive? Heard that before? It's true. Did you know the people who exhibit the most kindness are the first to get mistreated? Did you know the ones who take care of others all the time are usually the ones who need it the most? Did you know the 3 hardest things to say are I love you, I'm sorry, and help me? Sometimes just because a person looks happy, you have to look past their smile to see how much pain they may be in. To all who may be going through some issues right now, take heart. For no matter how dark the night, the sun will rise. We need to know that as children of the sun. Brother Mishbar, what's happening? One of the things that I do not indulge in is ego. I often say that, we're standing on the shoulders of giants when we get this information. Those that have come before that we have learned from. I am not the core source of the many truths that I share. I'm merely a vessel. Some of y'all will understand this, some of you won't. One love to everyone. All right? All right. Moving right along. This is something. Missionaries are pure, under-duty evil. It was missionaries that came into Africa as the front guard to soften the people up so that the economic jackals could come in and take them easily. Check this out. Let's talk about the Panera Indians. Now, the Panera Indians have been living in isolation for centuries in the jungles of the northern Amazon. They resisted outsiders and they clung to their ancient ways and customs. Most of the world barely even knew about them until a documentary came out about them. Christian missionaries saw that documentary and thought it would be a great idea to go to the Panera Indians and try to convert them to Christianity. Missionaries flew to the Amazon, landed, claimed peace, and they were welcome. This is one of the problems with indigenous people of color. We're kind-hearted and welcoming to strangers. Not long after the missionaries got there, they went right into their plan to try to get these people to be God-fearing Christians. The dumbass missionaries forgot one crucial thing that might hinder them: the language barrier. The Panera Indians didn't even have a word in their language that was synonymous with the word guilt, and guilt is like the number one thing in Christianity, along with words like sinful and evil. How could you say that? Guilt is the number one thing. Because what Christianity gives us is this idea of original sin. You come into the world dirty according to Christianity. You are born in sin. That's such a crock. So it was hard for the missionaries to get the Panera Indians to give a damn about any of this. And I mean, the Panera Indian spirituality system predated Christianity by thousands of years. So they had no concept of these mystical places like heaven and hell, nor did they believe in a devil or a lake of fire. So the missionaries were failing to convert, and that just could not be. So the missionaries got a brilliant idea to just rewrite the Bible. I wish I was kidding. I'm not. They rewrote it to make it fit the Paneria Indians' belief system, and they got permission from the Pope. Sorry ass people, man. They called it the New Paneria Indian Translation. And what they did was they removed any mention of Judas or the Jews and all the Romans and just replaced it with the Paneria Indians. Damn. They changed it so that now it was the Paneria Indians who crucified Jesus. Let me say that again. They rewrote the Bible and made the Paneria Indians the villains of the Bible. It was the Paneria Indians who crucified Jesus. These are some low-life, dirty-ass people. So the missionaries told the Paneria Indians that because they did that, God was mad at them. And he was going to take everyone, men, women, and children, animals, and burn them in a big fire. And the missionaries told them that in order for God to save them, they would have to commit their minds, bodies, and souls forever to God and to the church. And so they renounced their century-old belief system and took up Christianity. You couldn't pay me to be a goddamn Christian with that kind of crap. And you know what? This didn't take place in 1876 or 1476. This happened in 1976. And the really effed up part of all this is there are so many other stories like this. That's why anytime I hear a story about a missionary going to a place they weren't supposed to go and they get killed, I ain't got no sympathy for them. That's what you get. You shouldn't have even been over there to begin with. You're around like your church is something righteous. I'll be damned. Not even. Jeez Louise. Man, let's take a little musical break here. Damn. Hold on. Let me get something going. All right. WHGE 95.3 FM, the open eye. Yeah, I saw this comedian talking about the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Okay. And what she said was the difference is Democrats are like your kindly old aunt who promises to take you to Disneyland but never shows up. Republicans are like your grumpy uncle who tells you we can't afford to go to Disneyland and then goes without you. Yeah. Well, I have a harsher take on that. Republicans are like your nasty ass old uncle that you can't leave the kids around. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Pedophile Joe. Can't leave kids around me. Nasty bastard. And the Democrats are like the kindly old aunt that knows what the hell is going on, but won't do nothing about it. And these are the fools we dealing with in our political system. Yeah. Big time. That's word. You know, and just to give you an idea how slimy they are. Right? We remember the war on drugs, where it started. The Nixon campaign. In 68, the Nixon White House, okay, had two enemies, the anti-war left and the black people. All right, this is a quote from John Erickson. He said, "You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black. But by getting the public to associate hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin and then criminalizing them both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night after night on the evening news." Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. But we didn't care. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Coming up, Nsoromma. Hey, Sherry, I see you, sister. What's up, Steve? Yeah, you're right. All wars are caused by religion. That's right. Coming up soon here. Yeah, I got a couple of heavy ones for you. All right. Set up. Get right with you. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. All right. I'm Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist and host, joined on the air by my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma. What's up, brother?
Yaga, wagwan. Hello, world.
All right.
What's good?
Oh, man, I tell you.
Right?
If it wasn't for us, I don't know what would be good.
I'm telling you.
Jeez Louise. You know what? I got to get with this. Wyoming deputy. Slams special needs grade, second grader to the ground in a bloody takedown on Air Force Base School campus. Second grader.
I mean,
Cop took him down, bloodied his nose. 8 years old.
I guarantee you, he wasn't white.
Man, you know, I usually don't go along with guarantees, but
That's I don't know nothing about this story, bro. Now I can guarantee. I ain't even gonna say almost guarantee. I can guarantee that wasn't a white kid that he did that to. Can you tell me what color he was?
Well, The story will tell it.
Oh, okay.
They don't mention race in the story, but I'll be damned. As you hear the story, you will know. The parents of a second grader had filed a federal lawsuit claiming that a deputy in Laramie County, Wyoming, and a whole lot of us there, violated their son's civil rights. Edited footage of the incident shows the school resource officer tackling the 8-year-old to the floor and admitting to giving him a bloody nose during the incident at Freedom Elementary School in Cheyenne, Wyoming last year. The officer in Laramie County, Benjamin Jacob, further intensified the situation by threatening the boy with jail, causing the elementary school students' fear to escalate to the point where a nurse was called to tend to him. According to the lawsuit, in February of 2022, the child, who is identified in the court only as JD, has been spending his lunch recess in the principal's office in accordance with his customized, individualized education plan issued because of his neurodivergent disability. After lunch on the day of the incident, as the second grader sat at a desk in the hallway, he received a reprimand from a teacher and a principal for his remarks to a cashier in the school's lunchroom. The deputy, who nobody called up, who nobody asked for help,
right?
He joined in on the conversation. Without being asked to intervene in the conversation or to enforce any disciplinary action, the deputy grabbed the child and forcibly wrestled him to the floor.
See, they just think they got the right to just grab on us as black people and just get on the ground, you N-word, shut up. You know, and that's the mentality that they got when they put this slave uniform on. And that's just...
But I think the boys know.
Ruffles my feathers so bad, you know what I'm saying?
8 years old.
Hey, like you can't sit him down and shake him up to where as though you ain't even got really restraint. You can scare them sometimes, and how deep your voice can get and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's crazy, man.
And you know, all my mother had to do was cut that eye at me.
Right, stare at you, because you know what type of beating will come.
That's right.
Later on, you might not get it right now at this moment, but you will get it when you get home.
That's what.
And like they like it's.
And my father, all my father had to do was sit up hard to snatch his glasses off.
Right. Like,
everything in the house stopped.
Right. Even your brothers that wasn't doing nothing be like, is it for me?
Yeah. That's
right. I mean, that's crazy. But these police officers, security guards, they treat our kids like poop, man.
Yeah. Now the boy's father, Ishmael De Jesus. Okay. And that answered your question. He's a person of color.
You said Jesus?
Yeah, De Jesus.
De Jesus.
Ishmael De Jesus.
Okay.
Okay. He asked the cop why he assaulted the boy. And they keep calling the article that I'm using as a source. They keep calling him a peace officer. A piece of what? He said when he was asked why he assaulted the boy, he said, because as a law enforcement officer, that's my primary function. Okay, this retarded son of a bitch thinks that his primary function is to commit violence on people.
On kids.
On kids.
But that's the mentality I just was telling you about. Yeah. Imagine if he was an older person.
Yeah.
He probably would have got the hickey on the head from the club, and handcuffs, all of this unnecessary stuff. You know.
Right. You know? So the family wants to take the case to trial, hoping the officer will be held accountable. And you know what? How's he still an officer?
Right.
That's the crazy part to me. How in the hell is he still an officer?
Boop, boop.
Jeez Louise.
Let him been a black guy that did it to a white kid.
Yeah.
He'd have been put under the school, buried as far as he could.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think about this injustice, man. I'm getting sick and tired of it. So I know the world should be, as black people, should be getting like sick and tired of it for real. You know what I'm saying?
They should be. They should be. Well, the parents want to know that this will never happen to another child in Wyoming again. Don't bet on it.
Right. If he ain't fired as of yesterday, he's not even gonna get reprimanded. He's gonna get pulled in the office. It was a good job, Frank.
Yep.
You just let too many people see.
They'll give him some administrative leave with pay.
Yeah. We'll pay you to take a vacation, take your family to Disney World. Go enjoy yourself. Good job.
Good job. That's a quote from Chris Rock. Chris Rock said, "We treat racism in this country like it's a style that America went through. You know, it's just stylish to be racism."
Oh, it's a style to the racism?
Yeah, that's
Come
how
on,
we
stop, man.
Yeah, that's how we treat racism. Like flared legs and lava lamps. Oh, that crazy thing we used to do.
Right.
You know, when we were hanging black people, we treated it like a fad instead of a disease that eradicates millions of people.
And they used to bring their kids to the hanging with the picnic baskets and all kind of stuff. See that? Get a piece of their skin. My God.
You got to put it
like
in the
that,
lab.
brother?
You got to get it in the lab and study it and see its origins and see what makes, what's immune to it and what breaks it down.
What type of mind thinks like that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a question to you. What type of mind do you think thinks like that?
Well, you know what? People that are indoctrinated, okay, into the American system, and that indoctrination runs deep, not only on our own people, but on them too. Which is how we get 400 years of institutional racism.
Wow.
Slavery from 1619 to 1865. Black codes from 1865 to 1866. The KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, from 1865 to right now.
I don't understand how that group isn't banned.
That?
How it still exists after all the things that
they've done.
They've done. And
domestic terrorism
right,
that they commit.
Just saying or wearing that sheet, you should be arrested or killed. To me. But
where the Black Panthers at?
They killed all of them.
You know, the Black Panthers wore black leather jackets. I know where their black leather jackets are. They're bloody and full of bullet holes. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Where the KKK uniforms? They're in your local cleaners. Because they're still wearing them. We had Jim Crow from 1877 to 1954. Redlining from 1934 to 1968. Nah, that's not true.
That's the present.
That's the present.
Yeah, that's still the present right there.
Just like the war on drugs. From 1968, like I said earlier, to now.
To now, definitely.
I seen one of these videos, cop pulled this cat over for nothing. No, no, this one was worse. A female cop comes up on this brother, changing his tire.
Oh, yeah, I seen that. I was out with that too. Oh, yeah.
And she accused him, or she asked him what he was doing. Changing my tire.
I got a flat, lady.
I need to see some ID. For what? I didn't commit any crime. So she tased him in the back and cuffed him up. And then got him on the back of the car and tased him in the back again, and then called him a punk ass and a couple of other righteous words. This was down in was it Alabama or Mississippi?
And not only that, he had a concealed carry license to carry.
Right.
And she seen the pistol or whatever, and she just started treating him like a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And
then
he was crying. I mean,
and the taser hurt.
You got, what is it, 25 million? How many, what's them doing? How many
votes?
Yeah, 25 million votes skating through you. Yo, listen, man.
You know, so I'm not going to downgrade or disparage my man for crying because that crap hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And then in her police report, she found that he was possibly a drug dealer and a whole bunch of other crap, right? She turned off her body camera. And what she didn't know was his brother in the car videoed the whole thing. Yeah.
And that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you got the video camera on your body as part of your uniform, right? Just like the gun, the billy club, the handcuffs, the spray. They got so many weapons on them that they carry, right? And this body cam is not only for our protection, but for theirs too. Now, if they cut the body cam off and they get killed while the body cam was off, who fault is that?
That's their damn fault. And see, the thing is this. Here's the thing. When I see someone that is apprehensive or abhorrent to getting their picture taken or turning off their body camera and what have you, it's because they done did some evil stuff or they planning to do some evil stuff.
It should be mandatory that once you put your suit on, once you put that uniform on, that if you cut that camera off, you should be fired just for cutting it off because you don't have any record of what you're doing at that time with that uniform on.
That's right.
You have no control over your own personal space once you put that uniform on.
That's right.
So if you cut that camera off, it should be time served.
Right.
It should be time that you're getting.
Especially if you turn that camera off and then there's some controversy after that you might have did some nefarious crap to somebody.
And somebody on the ground dead. Or bloody.
You go to jail. Because you had planned on doing some nefarious, evil crap.
That was premeditated.
Right.
You cut it off.
Today is December 8th.
It's the 8th or the 9th?
It's the 9th.
Okay, I was
December
saying
9th, excuse me.
You was a day behind.
I'm a day behind.
I just looked at that too. That's why I said that.
On December 4th, 1969, that's what I'm talking about when I said, wear their leather jackets. Say his name, Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton.
On December 4th, 1969, was the slaying of Black Panther leader in Chicago. When black people face the fight of their lives, it's important for us to understand why his life and death means so much to us now. On the anniversary of his slaying, the Black Panther leader in Chicago, when black people face the fight of their lives, it's important for us to understand. Can't say it enough, why his life and death means so much to us now.
How old was Fred?
21.
He was 21, and he had the government so scared that they had to execute him.
Right.
Now, what could you be possibly saying at 20-something years old that the government wants to execute you?
The charismatic chair of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party accomplished a great deal before he was cut down at the age of 21.
Wow, man.
Hampton headed the Chicago chapter of the Panthers, where he formed the multiracial Rainbow Coalition. That's where it came from.
That's where it came from right there.
Came from Fred Hampton. Okay. Including his students for Democratic Society, the Blackstone Ranger Street Gang, a Puerto Rican organization known as the National Young Lords. He brought all these people together. He also started a community service program that included a free breakfast program for children and a free medical clinic, and held political education classes. Under his leadership, the Chicago Black Panthers monitored the police and looked out for instances of police brutality. Most of all, Fred Hampton brokered a truce among Chicago's major street gangs. 21 years old, and this brother was able to broker a truce among the major gangs and bring them together. This man was dangerous.
To them?
Yeah. The Black Panthers and Hampton caught the attention of J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI. Through his counterintelligence program, also known as COINTELPRO, Hoover sought to prevent the rise of a black messiah and expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize the activities of black nationalism.
Wow.
Hate-type organizations and groupings. Now, that hate type organizations, that's their terminology.
But the hate type organizations is the KKK.
Exactly.
And they ain't saying not a word about that.
No.
Not one.
No. They wanted to destroy their leadership, membership, and supporters, and to counter the propensity for violence and civil disorder. They didn't have a propensity for violence or civil disorder. They had a propensity to stop civil disorder and violence in our neighborhoods against our people by the government. Hoover targeted black figures such as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and organizations such as the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the Christian Leadership Conference, and the Black Panthers. We should be clear that this was a Chicago gangland execution assassination plot by Hoover, the Chicago Police Department, and the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. In the early morning hours of December 4th, the police raided Hampton's apartment. Hampton and Mark Clark, a Panther leader from Peoria, Illinois, died. Deborah Johnson, Fred Hampton's fiancée, who was 8.5 months pregnant, survived and was charged with attempted murder against the police. A federal investigation found that only one shot came from Hampton's house, while the cops fired 82 to 99 bullets. The murders ended the career of Cook County State's Attorney Edward V. Hannaran. The cops could not contain the glee on their faces when they carried Hampton's body up. They were actually celebrating. Over 5,000 people attended Hampton's funeral, and Jesse Jackson and Ralph Abernathy eulogized him. Meanwhile, William O'Neill, Hampton's bodyguard, was an FBI informant who provided the police with a floor plan indicating an X for Hampton's bedroom and likely drugged Hampton the night of the raid.
So how was he responsive if he was drugged and they shot him up?
Right.
I mean,
like it was a planned execution.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the government that's supposed to be protecting, and we the people.
Right.
You know, that's
and don't forget this William O'Neill. Okay, is a black man
and set him up.
Yeah. What he did. He was the one that provided the police with the floor plan and marked the X where Fred Hampton's bedroom was.
See, that's what happens to us a lot too.
Our own.
But they put our own people in such a forceful and sticky situation that they be forced to do them type of things.
They feel like they got no choice.
Because they got their 5-year-old son or daughter and their family in protective custody. If you don't help us do this, we're gonna make something happen. We're gonna make your family gonna disappear on you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, unfortunately, William O'Neill was not under that kind of pressure. William O'Neill was a dirty, rotten son of a bitch.
Boy,
he got $300 for the work that he did.
See, he was just greedy.
Yeah. $300. You know, $300 in 1969 might be like $1,500 now.
But just think of that. Right. That one $300, right, changed the course of history.
Right.
I mean,
and O'Neill was exposed for the traitor to our people that he was, and he eventually committed suicide.
I mean, the Creator made him do that.
Yeah.
He needed to go through something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's crazy, man.
Well, let's fast forward to today. Black America finds itself in the throes of police brutality epidemic, with black men, women, and children killed on a regular basis by police. In Chicago, still dealing with the gang murder of 9-year-old Tashawn Lee and the fatal police shooting of Rakia Boyd and Ronald Johnson, the police execution of Laquan McDonald has galvanized black activism with a holiday boycott campaign. Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy was shown the door, and there are calls for the mayor, the attorney general, to resign. Nationally, the Black Lives Matter protest movement, like Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers, is shining the spotlight on injustice we face at the hands of police and the criminal justice system to this day. To this day.
I didn't even realize that Black Lives Matter isn't even black people.
You know what?
That has that organization.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always say Black Lives Matter, the slogan, not the organization.
That's what I'm like, how are you going to come up with Black Lives Matter and you ain't even black? That
well, it was black people that came up with the slogan. But it was white people that funded the organization with those two crooked ass lesbians. Who running around buying luxury homes and stuff with the money that they got. So I say Black Lives Matter, the slogan, not the organization.
You won't see a black group of people hollering KKK and getting some sheets.
Hell no.
And if they did, they'd be locked up.
Yeah. And they'll be ostracized by our community.
Oh my God. Come on, man. What is going on, Mr. Gibbs? What is going on, Brian?
Let me tell you what's going on.
Okay,
well. I'll tell you what's going on. Israel. All right. Now, we all remember Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Colin, my QB.
Yeah. Took a knee.
Yeah.
Remember, he took a knee during the anthem because of police brutality.
Right.
And in response, the NFL ruined his career. Trump called him an SOB, they blacklisted him, and then they also ejected 4 other players for doing the same thing. But now, check this out. The NFL is encouraging its players to take a knee to support the brutality. Let me help me make it make sense here. The NFL is encouraging, and when you know you're an employer and you encourage your employees, you're pretty much forcing them to do it.
Right, telling them.
Yeah. They want them to take a knee in support of Israel.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why I said help me make it make sense.
Wow.
Y'all ruined Kaepernick's career because he was speaking up against brutality. But you're encouraging these football players to take a knee to support the brutalization of the Palestinian people. And you're encouraging these people to take a knee for the same people that's been brutalizing the Palestinians since 1948, 75 years.
Wow.
That's been legally occupying the Palestinian land and committing war crimes on the Palestinians for the past 75 years, and you telling people to take a knee at these football games for that.
Wow.
But you ostracize and ruin Kaepernick's career for taking a knee against the oppression that his own people face in this country.
And before he took the knee, it was generations of us taking a knee before they even made a big thing out of it. And like, man, this has got to stop. Yeah. We have to really formulate our own govern. You know what I'm saying? We really don't need them to govern us anyway. So we have to build our own army, build our own government, build our own banks, do everything on our own, and take that $4 billion that we be spending on in their world, and put it to ourselves.
You heard me say a couple of weeks ago, okay, no one is allowed to call Israel on their crap. Okay, because
Kanye did.
Yeah, Kanye did.
Where he at now?
Yeah.
We don't even know.
Yeah, now, what a lot of people understand is there's a difference between Judaism, the religion, and Zionism, the oppressive movement and government that controls the Palestinian land that is now called Israel.
Now, let me break this down. Zionism is evil, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Zionism has really nothing to do with the religion of Judaism.
Okay.
Okay? Because you have black Jews and Jews from all other walks of life.
Right.
Okay? Who have either converted or founded that religion because the black Jews did.
Okay.
Okay? And they have nothing to do with Zionism. You have Jews in New York right now, all right? With the, you see them with the curls coming down the side and what have you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They are speaking out against Zionism. But what does the U.S. government do? Okay? What the U.S. government does is, the House, it hasn't passed the Senate yet, but what the U.S. government, the House has so far, passed House Resolution 888.
House Resolution 888.
888.
What does that say?
Okay. It claims that anti-Zionism is equivalent to anti-Semitism. That's BS. Okay. Anti-Semitism, could be discrimination or bigotry.
Right.
Against someone who is a Semite. And a Semite is not just a Jew, but it could be an Arab as well.
Okay.
Okay. So anti-Zionism is not equivalent to anti-Semitism. But what the House Resolution 88 is saying, that any criticism of Israel and its Zionist government is equal to anti-Semitism. Now, they claim broadly that all Jewish people, regardless of nationality, are indigenous to the land of Palestine. Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Oh, hold up. Hold up. There's a guy by the name of Arthur Koestler. And what he done, he wrote a book.
Okay.
Called The 13th Tribe. The Khazar Empire and Its Heritage, Khazar Jews, by Arthur Koestler. The revolution of another Jewish host. Jews did not originate from Palestine. They are not descendants of the mythic Jews of the Bible. Okay, let me tell you something. There were people called Hebrew. Okay, and these were black people that came into Egypt without a religion, without a spirituality, without a written language. And they left Egypt with all three because they were educated there. That's where you get the idea that Moses, who never existed, that Moses knew the science of chem. Okay. These people, the fact that over 90% of those people today calling themselves Jews are actually descendants of the Khazar people originating from southern Russia. Jews from Eastern Europe and Western Asia were descended from Mongolians and other Asiatic people who adopted Judaism as their religion over 1,000 years ago and have become known as Jews. This book traces the ancient Khazar Empire, once a major power in Eastern Europe, that converted to Judaism in 740 AD.
Okay.
The Jews of our times fall into two main divisions. That's Sephardim and Ashkenazim. The Khazars migrated to Poland and formed the cradle of Western, Ashkenazim Jewry. Modern Jewry is not of Palestine, but Caucasian origin. The mainstream of Jewish migrations did not flow from the Mediterranean across France and Germany to the east and then back again. The stream moved in a consistently western direction from the Caucasus through the Ukraine into Poland into Central Europe. The Sephardim are descendants of the Jews who since antiquity lived in Spain, the Hebrew Sephardic, until they were expelled at the end of the 15th century when the Moors were expelled and settled in countries bordering the Mediterranean, the Balkans, and to lesser extent, Western Europe.
So they was the Jews that left and came back white?
Exactly.
That's
yes.
What?
Yeah. They left black and came back white. And these claims that they are indigenous to the land of Palestine is BS. Claims that the European Jewicide and Jewish people in the Holocaust provided new urgency to establish a settler colony and dispossess the people of Palestine.
Wow.
That this was the right thing to do. This is what they say. Resolves to support the Zionist entity's right to exist, and rejects calls for the establishment of Palestinian sovereignty over the land, and it condemns Palestinian resistance. And who voted for it? Who voted for it?
Who voted for it?
In the House was 421 to 1. That means all those Democrats who I told you was nothing but that nasty, slimy ass old aunt who watched pedophile Joe, her husband, molest kids and wouldn't say a damn thing. Ooh. That's right. All those so-called progressive Democrats, you're nothing but actors. 421 to 1. So that's including the Muslim girl that's in the Congress. She voted for this.
Wow.
All right. What's that chick, AOC from New York? Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, who's such a big-time progressive and been speaking out against the Zionism and what have you. She voted for that. Lisa Blunt Rochester, our own congresswoman, supposedly progressive, she voted for that. Ain't none of y'all.
Yeah, and then we vote them into place thinking they're going to look out and help out on our end, and they don't do nothing but flip the quarter on us.
That's all they do.
And that's crazy.
That's all they do.
And then we don't go and make them and hold them accountable for what they did. Mm-hmm. So we the real dum-dums.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what they've been doing, one Congress woman, she called for, what do you call that? Basically, she called for shutting down TikTok. Because too much information. Too much information.
You waking the people up. We want sleep.
Yeah.
We can't have that in America.
We can't have that.
TikTok has gotta go.
Because it was on TikTok that we found out that the Israeli state rep came to America and said the biggest threat to Israel today is black American youth.
Yeah.
Black American youth all the way over here, 4,000 miles away,
is the biggest threat.
Is the biggest threat to the Zionist colonialists.
Oh my God.
And it gets worse.
It get worse, bro?
It get worse.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Lord.
Okay. You ever heard of Dan Gertler?
Mr. Gertler. No, yeah. I can't say I have. No.
He's an Israeli businessman who came to the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1977.
Okay.
Forbes estimates his net worth to be $1.2 billion. Yeah. And how did Mr. Gertler get this rich? Well, diamonds. He was a diamonds dealer. And where did he get these diamonds? He got them in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Who let him in? It was the Kabbalah, the Kabbalists. All right? The low life there. No good Uncle Tom Coon ass fools.
I was ready for the boo.
I heard that. I had to check myself. LaRon Kabila and his son Joseph Kabila reportedly were offered $20 million. All right? From Gertler for weapons to bolster their efforts to remain in power. He signed deals with the president in exchange for a monopoly on the Congo's diamond market. So the Kabilas got weapons and then Gertler went away with the diamonds. Enter mining giant Glencore, which is an Anglo-Swiss company. In 2007, they managed to weasel their way inside the DRC's mining sector, mining zinc and cobalt. And by the way, I did mention that, this Gertler is Israeli. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. He bumped heads with the Glencore Anglo mining company, the other thief in town. And they've been squabbling over the resources of the Congo ever since. The Congo is the most minerally rich nation in the world. And their people are enslaved and living in poverty that you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
They're enslaving the people of the Congo. They're enslaving the children of the Congo in these mines. Meanwhile, they're destroying the environment. Meanwhile, the rivers are polluted. Meanwhile, life is a living hell.
And that was purposely done.
Purposely done.
Because it's a naturally beautiful country.
Yeah. Gertler and Glencore mines are squabbling over the resources that rightfully belong to the people of Congo. And what's happening today is President Felix Tshisekedi of the DRC is withholding details of the deals to recover assets from the controversial mining magnate. Now, I'm going to tell you one of the things that comes out of the Congo, of course, is the coltan. Okay? The coltan that makes your phone work. So we're all implicit. We're all involved in this. So if Apple comes out with a new phone, don't buy it. If your phone is working fine and they put on that commercial to show you how slick the next phone coming out is, don't buy it. Don't buy an electric car. Don't buy an electric car. Because this fuels the mining and the enslavement of the people of Congo. Now, these things have become necessary in our lives, and that's not by happenstance. Okay? But if you don't need a new phone, don't buy a new phone. Because all you're doing is supporting the enslavement of the people of Congo. And we want a chance to give the Congolese people back their dignity and free the Congo.
I'm like, how are they over there stealing all that money and they're not being paid for it?
Right.
They're not being compensated for their work or the products that they're stealing off of their land. They would never do that in America.
No.
You
see, let me tell you something about what's going on in Palestine and the Congo.
Okay.
Okay? These are tests to see how far they can get away with it.
Right.
Because if you don't think they will do it to us right here in this country, you got another thought coming. Would you forget about the bombing of the MOVE group in Philadelphia?
Right.
Where they dropped a bomb.
That was just up the street.
Yeah. They dropped a bomb in a residential neighborhood on some black people, knowing damn well they would kill children.
But they didn't care. Right. And the innocent people that wasn't even involved in, they blew up 2 blocks.
That's right. But y'all don't want to do nothing about it.
Wow.
This is from a poem from Sister Rhonda Sekmet Ra. But it's a quote from her poem, Children of the Sun. Why are you afraid? When all the cosmos lie within you, why do you hate yourself? When all the world envies you, why do you feel like you are lacking when you've been given all you need to be abundant and free? Why do you call yourself poor when your mother has the richest resources in all the world? Why do you keep letting thieves walk right through the door? That's from Sister Rhonda Sekmet Ra, from her poem, Children of the Sun. Yeah.
Because they scared us so bad, we don't even know we warriors anymore.
How about that? How about that? History will one day have its say, but it will not be the history that Brussels, Paris, Washington, or the United Nations will teach, but that which they will teach in the countries emancipated from colonialism and its puppets, a history of glory and dignity. That's a quote from my namesake, Patrice Lumumba. You know, a few years ago, I met a gentleman who claimed he was a retired Air Force intelligence officer who was stationed in the Congo in the late 1950s.
Okay.
He said he had the privilege to see Patrice Lumumba speak live in person.
Wow.
He said Lumumba was the most charismatic speaker he has ever seen, even more so than Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. He said seeing Lumumba was almost a religious experience. He said he knew that day this man would not live long. Patrice Lumumba was considered by Western powers to be the most dangerous man on the African continent, whose message could not be allowed to reach the masses. I asked him, who do you think killed Patrice Lumumba? He responded, who do you think? Yeah, we know who. Well, see, the thing is, Adolf Hitler is considered the most evil man in modern history. The history books tell us Adolf was a deranged madman, a murderous freak of nature. Europeans would have us believe that Hitler was an aberration, something unusual. Was he? Consider this. Hitler studied America's murder and oppression of Native Americans and blacks to learn how to subjugate and murder Jews. Consider this. Europeans or whites depopulated the North American continent of its indigenous people, murdering millions. Whites enslaved, oppressed, raped, and murdered millions of black people. Consider this. Whites would riot, rampage, terrorize, and murder black people, sometimes just for their own amusement. Consider this. Black economic success can be very dangerous in America. The Green Wall section of Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as Black Wall Street, being the most tragic example of this. Okay? America bombed. The first time America bombed anything from the air was a black community. It was bombed by Americans. 36 square blocks were looted and burned to the ground. Hundreds of blacks were murdered. No, Hitler is not an aberration, but an evidence of the endemic pathology of the white community and white supremacy and your own goddamn sickness.
Won't you say that again, brother? Rewind now.
All right. Hitler is not an aberration. He's evidence of the endemic pathology of the white community, white supremacy, and your own goddamn sickness.
I tell you, man.
See, if Africa decides to be radical and takes its minerals 100%, takes back its land 100%, if Africa organizes, we will be sanction proof. They won't be able to bring any sanctions down on us. We don't need them. Global African supremacy.
Plus, America fell.
That's word. That's word. Not only America, but Europe as well. All right? Think before it's illegal, because they're trying to make it illegal.
Wow.
As we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority.
Who treat you as an option.
This has been Adam and I and Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma in the building.
Thanks for joining us.
Yo, shout out Miss Bob, Sherry, Valerie. Hey, yo, Roniki, what's good? Jay, Otto, ARC, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Niece, what's happening? Yo, Mike, Mitchell, what's good? Hey, listen. Thank y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's always a pleasure to be with y'all and y'all checking us out. Hey, yo, back.
Hey, thanks for joining us on the Open Eye. And wait a minute. Oh, shoot, your thing went out. Where we at here? I know. There you go. Okay, yeah. Thanks for doing this on the Open Eye. I hope the message got through. I hope it helped remove the chains of oppression on your mind. And I hope you hear what we say when we say global African supremacy, because the world was a much better place when the black man ruled. Peace.
Oh, yeah. And we streaming all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Gibbs, Nsoromma. You dig? Go get that. Support. Thank you very much. Yaga.
All right.